What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Packers Rookie Preview. Today, we are getting into the Day 3 prospects, starting with Auburn's Colby Wooden. If you've followed the channel for a bit, you know we've been talking about a lot of the positives and some negatives. I understand with Day 3 picks, it's going to be maybe a little bit more critical, but it's not to say that these are bad players. Again, you got to think Day 3 picks. We're not really trying to bash these guys, so I am trying to find and highlight those flashes, those strengths that can help them have a role, but also be fair and help you understand why they were Day 3 picks. So before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the support so far. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Colby Wooden, edge/D lineman out of Auburn. Taking a look at Wooden's background, one of the first things you're going to notice is that for a frame, he is definitely a tweener. 6'4", 273 pounds, solid arm length, nearly 34-inch arms, 10 3/8 inch hands. So it's hard to tell, is he an edge? Is he a defensive end? Is he an interior lineman in general? But that being said, if you are looking at him as a defensive tackle per Kentley Platt's relative athletic score, 9.24 out of 10, very solid. Really got his career going at Auburn on the right foot as an SEC all-freshman back in 2020. Over the course of his career, 14 sacks, nearly 30 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, 6 pass breakups too, and we'll talk a little bit more about those in a minute. But this past season, he added some more weight, tried to kick inside for the Tigers. I'm not sure how much of these struggles that we'll talk about later in this video are scheme-related effort. I know it was a very tumultuous time at Auburn last season with the coaching change and all of that. So a lot of interesting things to get into. But as far as a pro comparison, you're going to see this pretty much everywhere on the internet. Tyrone Crawford, former Dallas Cowboys defensive end for, almost a decade, was a team captain at one point. One of those guys that was that, is he an outside linebacker? Is he an interior defensive lineman? So it's an apt comparison because we're not entirely sure of what Wooden's role is at the next level. But if the upside is Tyrone Crawford, Packers fans should be thrilled with that. That is a long-term contributor. And from everything I've heard, as far as character-wise from Wooden, a guy that absolutely loves football, is going to work his tail off, and is going to be a good locker room fit in Green Bay. So I get the Crawford comparisons, absolutely. But why don't we go ahead and dive into the film, take a look at strengths and weaknesses for Wooden. So if you watch the draft coverage when Wooden was drafted, one of the things that immediately stood out on tape, and admittedly I hadn't watched him leading up into the draft, was his lateral quickness and those first steps that allow him to get into the backfield very quickly. That showed up in the 2 games that we have for you here today, which are against Mississippi State and Alabama. So let's just go ahead and turn this on. Left side of the screen, quick little step around, swipe, goes. What I appreciate here, along with that quick first step to cause the right tackle to whiff, is he goes straight down the line of scrimmage afterwards. That's good technique, and then obviously makes the tackle in the backfield. It's a great play. Shows up again here on the pass rush. He's set up on the right side of the screen. Gonna see him look like he's going straight at the right tackle here, and then he just kind of swipes inside, gets skinny, is able to get in there, create pressure, force a bad throw from the Mississippi State quarterback. So nice play there. It's that lateral quickness, that first step. He can flash it at times, especially given his size on the outside on stuff like this. It's not the flashiest play, right? But he is able to swipe inside, get in there, create some pressure. So something you really like to see. Another example of that quickness against the run. Here, you see him lined up on the left side of the screen, a 4-eye technique just inside the offensive tackle. So you can see the 99s at kind of a 0 or right up over the tackle. So you see 4-eye number 25 is Wooden. Here, another quick lateral step, allows him to get into the backfield unimpeded. Tries to go, I think he hesitates here, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of this stuff, but he gets a clean look. If he's able to get solid footing, maybe he steps on, I see his leg gets caught on I believe that's the extra offensive lineman. If he doesn't do that, because he's able to create separation immediately, if he can get straight down the line of scrimmage, maybe he's able to get to the running back, and this is not a touchdown. But that lateral quickness shows up a few times. You'll see some highlight plays when you look him up as well. Just that lateral quickness he flashes inside and outside is definitely one of his bigger strengths. Here we go. Again, left side. We'll talk about hand usage in a bit and extension. It's something that he really struggles with, and it is frustrating to watch on film for a guy that might have to kick inside. But this is a nice example of a little push-pull. Just completely get the guard on his ass. So let's take a look at that. Just extension, and then pull him back down, and he just dirts the guard, which love to see. Really good move there. Would love to see more of that. Unfortunately, it does not show up as much as you'd like on the tape. But again, nice move there. Way to get the guy in the ground. Here we go. Again, Wooden on the far left side, up over the tight end, or this is unbalanced. I can't see from this angle. But nice job here. I mean, he's not getting his pad super low, but he is getting his hands above his eyes. He is getting extended. That can help against the run, and then he's able to disengage. Something you really want to see. Need to see more of this against the run. Is that ability to get extended, shed your blocker to make a play on the running back. He just loses his balance, almost finishes that play, but it is a nice job of getting extended and then shedding that block to try and make a play. So it is there. It's just, we'll talk about it more in the weaknesses. Wish it was there more. Here we go. Wooden again, right side of the screen. Just showing you his size. Really interesting concept for Mississippi State. They're faking that flat route to one running back and then just a little shovel pass. And usually you'll see a shovel pass near the goal line just because it's trying to get one defender out of his position to try and get a touchdown. Very curious why they did it here so deep in their own territory, but just wanted to show Wooden just the size he has to engulf guys when he does get a clean path to a ball carrier. You know, he does not struggle much with actually making a tackle. So that is good to see as well. Here, we got him in a wide technique. You can see his hand in the dirt. Right side. Just run straight through a guy. I want to see more of this. I think he has the capabilities to do it. I wish he was getting extended on his bull rush. But when he's not slowing down at the point of contact, he can really make plays here. I think he can be a legitimate bull rusher if he does end up playing on the edge at the next level in any capacity. He's just got to keep the legs moving and get extended there. You can see we're even talking about good here, but that's not extended. He's still not extended. He's generating that push without any extension and okay leg drive. So there's strength there. It's just working the technique. His arm length's solid. I think he should be able to be more effective as a bull rusher. Another rep here, left side, same thing. This time he does get a little more extended, but his legs aren't moving through it. I guess they are a little bit, but I want to see more violence at that point of contact. I do think he can be a legitimate bull rusher. I want to see more flashes of putting it all together, and I honestly didn't see much of that. But the fact that it's there without technique is promising. The fact that he can generate some push as a bull rusher. Here we got another thing. Got another interior rep with him over the guard. Here we go. This is something that stands out to me a lot. We talked about the 6 pass breakups. I think Wooden at least is self-aware that when he's not able to get home, he does a great job of reading the quarterback's eyes and trying to get into the throwing lane. Even on the plays he didn't get pass breakups on, I saw it a few times where he's like, okay, I'm not going to get there. Let me at least muddy the throwing window. Because even if you don't break up the pass, if you can get in that window, it's going to make it harder for the quarterback to feel confident in throwing it, delivering it accurately, and then the wide receiver may struggle to catch it because of his concentration. So here we just see he's realizing, I don't have anywhere. I see the running back come out, and I'm going to break up that pass. Isn't able to come away with the interception, but he does break up the play. It's a good heads-up play to break that up. And then we got another one here. They're just trying to throw a quick now pass. You got 25 on the right side. They're just trying to throw that as soon as the ball snapped. Wooden does a nice job reading that, getting his hands up. So nice pass break up there. And then lastly, I just wanted to show the effort is there. It's not always pretty. The technique's not always great, but you do have the technique here. Not the technique, sorry, the effort to finish a play. So here you go. He's just rounding the loop. Something I like here, we're talking about hand usage a lot. Watch him, long arm, he's hand fighting, able to disengage, and then finish this play for a sack. I really like to see stuff like that. Effort, play strength. There are tools here, but the technique's a mess. And that's likely why he was a day 3 pick. Again, I don't want to bash the guy. I get it, he's a day 3 pick, but we're trying to be a little fair here and explain why, he was a 4th round pick, which I had not watched him going into this pre-draft prospectus. I know there were other defensive linemen that Packers fans were hoping for in that spot. But again, it's a 4th round pick. Here we go, left side. You're just going to notice time and time again on his tape, pad level's a real issue. I don't know what his plan is here, but I can't tell if he's trying to start inside and go out, but you can't have much of an impact standing straight up trying to do anything there. So pretty rough. Would like to see better pad level. If you go back and watch the Lucas Van Ness video we did, or if you've already watched it, you know how we talked about how Van Ness does a great job of getting low, exploding through the hips to make contact. Timing the hips with the punch is where you can generate significant power, and then you can kind of work that matchup. I don't see enough of that from Wooden on tape. Here we go again, left side, pad level again, and he's given away his chest. And when you hear someone say that, a pass rusher like Van Ness or the other guys we've talked about, you want to get extended so that the offensive lineman can't get engaged with you, because if you give away your chest and they get locked on, it's very hard to get disengaged. So then the offensive lineman's winning that battle. He's completely controlling you. You see it too much that Wooden doesn't really have a plan of attack on these, and he's just giving up his chest, and the pad level's not great. And when your pad level's not great, it's much easier to expose your chest because it's an easier strike target for the offensive lineman. Another one here. I mean, he's just controlling this the whole way because he's not trying to dip under. He's not trying to do anything besides just I try to run around him. And this offensive lineman is just in control the whole way. So just you see too much of that. Another one here. I mean, not even sure what he's trying to do. I had a really hard time trying to understand what Auburn's scheme was, especially trying to watch the linebackers as well, see where the run fits were going. To me, I'm not trying to be bashing or overly negative, but I just couldn't tell what the scheme was, and it felt like a lot of the guys on this Auburn defense were freelancing. I'm not sure why, but here we go again. I mean, he's not working anything here. He's just chest is completely exposed. He cannot get disengaged from this right tackle. He is locked up completely. He even tries to club away those hands, cannot. Really unfortunate play. Another one. Now here is where we get some really problems with. If he's going to kick inside, he cannot get washed out against the run. Pad level is going to play a factor into that. Leg drive, or keeping your legs moving through contact, is going to play a factor in that. And extension. So we've talked about all those things. But this is what happens, when you get washed out or when you're not following technique. Because you can see here right side of the screen, this is Cameron Latu, who was a day 3 tight end and did not put up the best film. And he just kind of completely gets Wooden out of this play. And it's a big run for Alabama. You got pullers, I get it. But, I mean, he's just inviting himself to get washed out. And that's a big play. Here we go again, just getting washed out. Just cannot get off that block, cannot hold his ground, cannot anchor. And again, is he going to kick inside for the Packers? Because if he is, these are not reps you want to see on film. As an interior guy, you cannot get washed out against the run. The Packers have had enough run defense issues over the last few years. So you need guys that can hold their own and anchor down and not get washed out of running plays. Here, just leg drive. You can see him get extended at some point, but are his feet moving? Is he trying to run through the blocker to constrict that rushing lane? No. This could be where the scheme is he's holding that gap and he's trying to control it, and then he's trying to shed. But even so, like, if you're not keeping your feet moving, you're going to really struggle to do exactly that and hold your gap, because the offensive lineman is going to have a natural advantage against you because you're not generating any push. So you can see here, he's just struggling to get disengaged because he's not really moving his feet once he is locked up. He's just kind of holding them in the dirt. Frustrating to see, to say the least. Another one. Right here, The running back's going to run right behind this offensive tackle. And if Wooden's constricting that rushing lane and keeping his legs moving, this was a game winner in overtime for Mississippi State. And I get that it's late in the game and you're probably tired, but for a play like this, look how big this rushing lane is, off the snap. You've got to batten down and you've got to constrict that lane by pushing that tackle into the guard. Instead, he's not driving his legs. He's kind of just standing there. You can see he's not really getting fully extended until too late, and then it's game over. It literally is. That's a game-winning touchdown for Mississippi State. Next one, here we go. These are minor ones, but we talked about zone read with Brenton Cox on the UDFA episode, where he, on zone reads or QB keepers, where he's reading the edge, the quarterback's reading the edge, on whether to give or keep, Cox just kind of sprinted down the line and made it an easy choice for the quarterback to keep the ball. Here, what I would like to see more of, I don't think this is terrible from Wooden, but when you're doing this and reading down the line of scrimmage, his shoulders need to be more square to the line. Here you can see he's still, even if he is shuffling down and he's not overcommitting, his shoulders are making it difficult for him to follow the quarterback if the quarterback keeps it. Because you can see he just, by the time that decision has been made, his shoulders are so turned to the running back, he has to turn and flip all the way over to get to the quarterback. And that's just a little cleanup thing, is if he can stay more square on one of these, he's going to have more success trying to chase Young and at least force a worse throw. These are frustrating ones, but twice in 2 games I saw just offsides. Can't jump offsides. Pretty straightforward, right? Just cannot get caught jumping before the ball, especially as an interior guy, right? Like, you're right next to the ball. You should be able to see that. That's pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, nothing. Here, we're seeing some flashes of hand usage, and again, it's been a recurring theme throughout this. Trying to show some positive before we get done. That's the nicest swipe I've seen him make in 2 games of film, is he waits for that offensive lineman to commit with his punch, gets rid of it, and if this isn't a designed screenplay, there's a very real chance that he can potentially create some pressure on Young. But then just a couple plays later, that's all he's got. That's not a plan of attack. That's just trying to run around a guy. And it's no problem for the right tackle. Just got to be better at that. But that's all we have. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize for the lack of energy. I've had food poisoning for the last 24 hours, or it's not been fun. So we'll try to bring some more energy for Wednesday, because I am very excited about Wednesday's episode. We're going to go over 2024 NFL Draft quarterback Drake May out of North Carolina. Potential, I know we can talk about Caleb Williams too, but May has the potential to be QB1 in this class. He just needs a big year at North Carolina, but he is a phenomenal quarterback. Can't wait to share that with you. And then, yes, on Friday, we will be talking Sean Clifford. So if you've enjoyed the channel so far, thank you again so much for the support. Please subscribe. We are over halfway to our goal of 1,000 subscribers before the start of the season, and it's only been 2 weeks. So very much appreciate the support. We'll see you on Wednesday. Go Pack Go.